Hello, hello, hello. I took a dive into the darkness, so I feel like I'm starting to come out of it, and I'm here to tell you about it today. Last few days were, wow, very difficult, extremely difficult. A few different things happened that really triggered my sense of loneliness and very strongly triggered my insecurities around connection. And the thing is that I come off as a person who is like really good at connecting with people, because when I'm in my extroverted mood, when I'm feeling really like I'm like I can go and I can approach any person on the street and start talking to them. Like I don't have fears in that regard when I'm in that mood. When I'm in a really hyped mood, I can start a conversation with any person and I can like make a really good self-impression, because I'm just like crazy and I'm like talking about like really interesting things, and I'm sharing about like deep things, and I can go into really deep conversations really easily. And yeah, so that can make people think that I'm like really good at like socializing. But I have actually a really deep fear about connecting with people, because I feel like first of all, I'm not always in that mood. So sometimes I'm in, and I've been talking about it for quite a few videos now, this thing of like, I used to really be identified as only an extroverted person. Like I used to only see myself as a person who is everything that I just described. So whenever I wasn't feeling this way, because the truth is that I'm not only that, I have a huge part of me which is very introverted, and when I'm in a mood of like just being by myself, if I talk to people, it's really difficult. Like sometimes it's really hard for me. Sometimes it takes tremendous effort to just be nice to people, and sometimes it's even if I'm just hungry or like if I'm just like I don't know, like it can change a lot. But sometimes I'm in a mood where I'm not feeling that I have the energy to connect with other people, and all of my energy goes inwards. And in those times, if I try to force myself to connect with other people, it's extremely painful, because it doesn't work. So So yeah, it used to be very difficult to live like that, because I used to identify as an extroverted person, that I love hanging out with people all the time, and a part of it was like not being like a fear of facing my own fears, So I was using hangs as a way of running away from my fears also. So basically, I was telling myself the story that I want to hang out with people because I'm really social, and I really like hanging out with people, and it really fills my soul. And also all of my friends are so smart, they are so wise and so creative and introspective. So when we meet and we talk, it's always like so nurturing, and like yeah, all of this is true, but it wasn't the full picture, because there was an aspect of it of like I want to be with people all the time because I don't want to be by myself and feel my feelings. But I've learned over the years, over the past few years, I've gotten better and better at being by myself and being with myself. But still, it's just, I feel like I lost my train of thought a little bit, because I feel like the point of what I want to talk about is what I've been going through in the past few days. So what happened was that I started talking about how I'm usually, because of my when I'm in my extroverted mood, I am so powerful and so intense, and I'm taking over all, like I go to a party and I'm the center of the party, and like everybody is like looking at me, and that's the vibe, you know, and I'm like, I want to be on stage and everything is awesome. And this is just so dominant that it's easy to think that that's the way I am, and that it's easy to think that I'm just very good at connecting with people. But it doesn't feel like that, actually. It feels like I'm good at making first impression, but I'm not good at getting like really, really, really close to people. Because I have a lot of shame. I have a lot of shame. I grew up needing to hide a lot of what I was feeling, and I'm still trying to overcome that. And everything that I do is to try to tell myself that I'm okay the way I am. Doing these videos, writing the songs that I write, that I talk about what I'm feeling, like everything that I do, it's like I'm trying to tell myself that I'm okay. But still there is like gigantic fears that I have, that it's like, if I'm going to reveal my insecurities to people, everything's gonna fall apart, you know. And it's very, very hard for me to trust people, because I feel like I just always feel guilty. I always feel like I'm not a good friend. I always feel like I'm and by the way, I decided that I'm gonna go vegan again, because I used to be vegan. All of this shit that I have here is from fucking eating cheese and milk, which I already know is bad for me, but whew, I want to be vegan. Like, I always admire the concept of veganism, and I used to be vegan, and then for years I was like just trying to pick and choose the diet that worked for me, which was like, fish is nice for me, but I don't want to eat meat, and like I didn't want to eat any dairy products, because that was always fucking me up. And so disgusting. Every day I'm like yeah, but anyway, like for years I was like always like trying to find the balance. And then, you know, I came to this new place, and I just wanted to experience what it's like to eat all of the things that I can experience here. It's like there's crazy soups, and there's like a lot of crazy things I've never eaten, like empanadas and like, you know, nice things. So I started to eat those things sometimes, and then when you start to eat them sometimes, it's like, oh, I want chocolate and I cannot find dark chocolate, so I'll just eat milk chocolate. And like it starts to become like, you know, normal to eat those things, and no, that's definitely not good for me. So I think that as long as and it's very hard for me, like those of you who know me, or even just watching these videos, maybe by now you know me, that it's very hard for me to commit, because I really like questioning. Like I feel like I always want to like question things and rethink whether it's the right thing for me or not, and trying to like always do things from a place of like really like the intention, and like from the essence of things. And I feel like when I just commit and then I do things because I decided that that's what I want to do, it's easy for me to like lose the essence. And that's a part of like the traumas that I grew up with, of like there were too many things that I just needed to do, that people around me were doing because they decided that that's what's happening. And that really, really, really like really affected me in a way that makes it very difficult for me to commit, because I can see the danger of committing and then forgetting why you're even doing it, and you just do it because you want to prove to yourself that you can. And that's something that I struggle with, because I can also see the value of committing, because then it can fucking quiet your mind. Because the thing is that when I'm not committed to veganism and I'm like flexitarian, and then every fucking meal I need to reconsider whether now is the special time where I get to eat something else, or now what should, it's like so much thinking all the time, and it's so exhausting. And then especially when I go with people to eat, it's like, yeah, let's go here, and then I'm like, no, I don't feel like eating that. It's like, cause like, yeah, but yesterday, Shai, you ate that, so why the fuck suddenly? It's just so much. It's like I feel like so much pressure needing to decide every time. whether I'm vegan or not today. So I feel like I would like to try the concept of like, I'm just vegan and everybody knows that I'm vegan and there's no questions about it. And I've always like, I always admire veganism. I always admire the how good it is for the planet, how good it is for our bodies, how good it is for everybody, you know. And I think I'm actually gonna watch some of those movies that I never wanted to watch because I didn't want to just think about all these horrors too much. But I think I'm gonna watch it because I need an incentive. I haven't really been into cooking lately for a long time actually. I used to love cooking. I used to spend so like 3 times a day, spend time in the kitchen and prepare the meals for myself and like really, really dig it. But I don't know what happened in the past 6 months or so. I just don't feel it. So if you have suggestions for recipes or like easy ways to go into like cooking or tips or anything like that that is like nice and easy and vegan and healthy, just tell me because I need some inspiration. I'm like trying to talk about something and then I start talking about other things and like, yeah, that's how my brain works. So, and you know, even talking about the whole song a day thing, you know, I tried to do it from like, my intention was that I want to have a space every day where I connect to myself. But then it became pressure of like, fuck, I have a day where I'm teaching fucking 8 students and I'm exhausted and I'm like, oh, now I also have to write a song. And it's like, that's like not what I wanted. And it's like, I feel like it's so hard for me to find how to translate the essence of things, the essence and the intention into some kind of a routine so that I can cultivate it and I can keep my leg on the gas rather than keep like every time. Like, I felt so deep. Wow, it was like, I think it was a combination of like the disappointment of myself, of I decided I'm gonna do song a day and I cannot even fucking finish 1 week. And at the same time, like these two voices of like, one of them is like, wait, but you're committed to something, and the other one is like, wait, but I gotta fucking listen to my body. Like, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I gotta chill and I gotta like just rest for a moment because I'm fucking depressed, you know. So those two that are fighting, but then it's like, yeah, you can never commit to anything, and this is like why nothing's gonna come out of you ever. It's like, fuck, like so difficult. Because I really believe in like listening to what we feel, but sometimes it can become another way of like spiritual bullshitting ourselves. You know, I can like keep telling myself that I don't feel like doing something because blah 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 blah, and then I never can get to do the things I want to do, and I'm actually holding myself back. But when I try to proceed despite those things, I just get depressed as fuck. Like, it's just so strong. This dissonance in me is so strong. I'm really trying to figure that out because I'm very sensitive, you know. So for some people, it's maybe it's not that big of a deal to like force themselves to do something, and for me, it makes me want to die. Like, it's really, really intense. And I used to like, one way to look at it is like it's a weakness. And that I'm like screwed. But I want to believe that it's actually not that. It's actually forcing me to find a way to really integrate those things that are like contradicting, to really find a way to integrate the side that wants to commit and achieve things and want to to find a way to commit from the heart, and even when I commit to something, to still be able to have space for my emotions. And that is something that we don't see many role models for that in our society, and I feel like it's very necessary, at least for people like me. So I want to look at the fact that I'm so sensitive and incapable of committing to the wrong thing as a strength, because that forces me to be creative and really reconsider the whole concept of commitment. And it's like, how do I commit to something? What should I commit to, and how do I commit to it from a space that is honoring my nature, and also like from a space that is from the essence. Because when I start having the thought of like, oh, I just have to do it because I decided that I have to do it, that everything starts going to shit, you know. So I want to feel like always I remember that I do it because I want to do it, because it's good for me, because whatever I decided, and I want to always remember why I'm making the choices that I'm making. I don't know yet. It's still all of these are still questions, not answers, but I like the direction of it, you know. So yeah, I really want to get better at connecting with people, and I feel like being so far away from everywhere that I've ever known, and being in the middle of fucking nowhere, with meeting a lot of new people, which, you know, initially felt like infinite possibilities, but then, you know, as I stay here a bit longer, I start to just really be faced very strongly with how hard it is for me to truly connect and to truly trust people, and to feel like I can be myself around people. Um, and at the same time, like, I really want to fucking belong. Like, I really want to belong. I've always wanted to belong, but I'm also such a wild, weird creature, and I really want to be myself. Like, and I want to find how those two things can work together, but it's like it's really hard, because sometimes when I really want to belong, then I feel like I need to tame myself down, or like to make sure people understand that if I'm like a little bit grumpy, it's not because I don't like them, it's because I'm going through some shit, or I don't know, or if I'm like behaving in a way that is a little bit inconsiderate, it's not because I don't give a fuck about them, it's because maybe I'm not as aware as I wish to be, and I would like them to help me see what I don't see, so that I can see their perspective, you know, so that I can see how I hurt them. But if people just assume that I hurt them because I'm a bitch, then I can never learn. And something of that sort happened. So yeah, it's just very, those two, there's a lot of like, I have a lot of inner conflicts like that, you know. And yeah, I'm starting to feel better because, well, I actually spoke to a friend today, a really, really, really dear friend that we've gone through so much together. It's insane. She's one of the people that know me better than anyone. And at the same time, we're so different that she just told me today that she's like, she doesn't understand me. It's like I'm such a weird creature for her, but she really appreciates me, because while I'm so opposite of her, I do a lot of things in a very weird way, according to her. I make it work somehow, and it's so interesting for her to see that. And yeah, she's one of those people that I always see her as someone that has got her life together, you know, that she's got it all together. Like, she's so talented in everything, and she's so like knowing how to get things done and organized, and knowing how to commit to things. And I always feel like she probably really judges me for how weak I am, that I cannot commit, and how ridiculous I am. And talking to her today really helped me beyond what I could have imagined. Like, she really helped me. She told me how much she appreciates how different I am from her, and she told me that even though I'm a really intense person, I don't ever annoy her, or like she doesn't feel like I'm not considerate, or like I don't know. It was really nice. It was so nice to talk to her, and yeah, it's just, I'm really realizing how much being vulnerable, because I was brave enough to honestly share with her what I'm going through. Right? She was like, "How's Ecuador?" And I'm like, honestly, I've been having a really hard time for a while. And then we started talking, and I just started crying like crazy, and sometimes I would be trying to like hold myself together when I was talking to her, because I didn't want to dump my shit on her, you know, especially because I haven't spoken to her in a while, you know. And yeah, I really want to be vulnerable with people for real. And yeah, I don't know, that's just the way to grow, the way to learn, you know, to, because nothing can help more than to hear that from her, that she doesn't see me as a ridiculous person, and that she appreciates me, and that she loves me, and that she wants me to feel good, and that she wants to help me, and that she appreciates my honesty, and the fact that I can talk in these vlogs about everything that I'm feeling, and all of these things that I always think that she judges me for. She said that she appreciates about me, and that is so powerful, you know, that is so fucking powerful. So talking to people about our fears is very important. So yeah, I'm starting to feel better, taking it easy, and yeah, I don't know I don't know where we're gonna go from here, but I'm here sharing it with you, and I'm always happy to hear if you identify with any of that, if you relate to any of the things I'm saying, or what do you think about any of that. Like, I'm doing this because I want to connect with people, so please feel free to let me know anything you want. And yeah, thank you. Bye.